Alright, well, it is time for another OpenRSC developer commentary. You might remember last time I did one on Fluffs the cat. She was an unobtainable item, it turns out, and therefore safe to put some custom behavior on and reuse as a moderator tool. We're doing the same kind of thing today, but with the Superchisel. The Superchisel is more obviously an unobtainable item, though. In fact, it may have been RuneScape's first ever moderator tool. We don't actually know what it did, though, at all. For sure, the name is interesting since it implies having superpowers. It also has an interesting twiddle option, which sounds very moderator tooly, as opposed to the Superchisel just being an unreleased item. And we know when it came into existence. I won't say released, but it came into existence in the cache around May 8th of 2001. And we know that because its internal item ID is right after all the jewelry that was introduced on that date. And we know it wasn't introduced very long after May 8th of 2001 because it's in config 18, which is cache data that dates to May 10th of 2001. So likely they came out at the same time on May 8th of 2001. Some people believe that the Superchisel may have been used in some way to test the crafting skill while it was in development. It has the placeholder graphic of an unstrung diamond amulet, and it was introduced at the same time. Part of its name is Chisel, which was a new tool used to cut gems, also released at the same time. Another reason that it is believed to be a tool to test crafting is because the Rotten Potato, a moderator tool in RuneScape 2, was initially added to test the farming skill, so there might be a parallel there. However, there is no hard evidence one way or the other if it was just a tool to test jewelry crafting, or if the Superchisel did something more grand and super than that. We might never know its true abilities, but someday it is possible that some Jagex employee, or Andrew Gower himself, will reveal what its original purpose was. I would certainly hope to find out. Maybe he'll do it at the next RuneFest. I don't know. But that's enough history anyway. In fact, it's everything we know about the Superchisel. Let's move on to the OpenRSC implementation. You may know that we recently released the 2001scape server, which is a recreation of RuneScape as it existed on the 8th of May of 2001. And that cutoff date happens to be the same exact date that the Superchisel first came into existence. Unfortunately, some of our other moderator tools that we've been accustomed to using, such as the Reset Crystal and Fluffs, they no longer exist in 2001scape. So we haven't been able to use them. Here I am, I'm on the live RSCP server, and I've got my moderator tools, such as Fluffs, who tells me who's online, really fast and easily. I've got the Reset Crystal, which is awesome. You can kill everyone to reset them if you need to, and reset other items, such as rocks that might be stuck. That never happens anymore, but it was a useful tool historically anyway. And we also have the Superchisel here, which has a twiddle option, and it does work. Check this out, the twiddle option. I wrote this dialogue all by myself. You twiddle the Superchisel. You remember your mother scolding you. Stop fidgeting, it's a bad habit. Right? I thought it was funny anyway. Just a funny, we don't know what it does. Here's the joke. But, now that we have the 2001scape server and it's our only moderator tool, we kind of could be using it better than this. And so that's what I'm showing off today. I'm here on the 2001scape server, or at least my local copy of it, and we have a new and improved Superchisel. When you twiddle it, it will still show this joke dialogue, but after the first time you use it, it won't have these delays in it. It'll bring you right to this menu, which has new abilities, saved commands, as well as the Reset Crystal and Fluffs, which, you need those on the 2001scape server, so they're accessible right here in the Superchisel. I've also got Stop Fidgeting, which is like a cancel option, but when you click it, it says you put the Superchisel back in your sack, so you stop fidgeting. Before I show off the Save Commands feature, first let's talk about what commands are. Commands are a text-based control interface providing access to useful functions that, until now, had no graphical accessibility. Traditionally, commands were invoked by beginning a chat line with a /. However, later on, they were converted to be invoked by beginning a chat line with 2 colons. This was a real mechanism on the real RSC server, but there are commands that are not authentic in the OpenRSC codebase, as well as probably some that existed in RSC and still aren't known today. A full list of commands available on the OpenRSC server are documented on GitLab in the commands.md file. Getting back to the Superchisel, I've implemented saved commands, which lets you save commands of your choice to be selected through a menu. I've loaded up some useful ones, such as invisible, which you'll toggle a lot as a moderator, blink, which is especially useful on 2001scape since there isn't Control-Shift-Click to teleport. That wouldn't be added until 2011, I believe. Then there's become chicken, which is just a lot of fun, although I don't think any Jagex moderator ever did this, because we would have seen screenshots for sure of that. And then I've also got chords, which lets you see what coordinate you're currently at, of course. But that's just to give you an idea of all the useful things that you could put into a menu to not have to type over and over again. But currently they're just not associated with any item. And with the Superchisel, you can do it just by going into, you go to an unset one and say define slot, and then whatever the slot number is, such as define slot 4 in this case. I could put teleport to Falador. And now we can teleport to Falador just by opening up the Superchisel and saying option 5. So that's great. Other options on the Superchisel are Reset Crystal and Fluffs. Reset Crystal has the same behavior as on the other server, where it kills all NPCs, smites them, but it uses fire instead of a lightning bolt, since the Saradomin Strike did not exist yet. I've also put Fluffs on the Superchisel. However, the dialogue for Fluffs that I ended up writing led unintentionally into a full-blown quest about the Superchisel, which we'll go through now. You speak into the Superchisel. Fluffs, are you in there? Meow? Wow, it's working! Hey, do you know anything about online players in this version? No, I don't live there. You really want to talk to someone local. Someone in charge of census taking. There's someone like that in Varrock. Smart guy named Reldo. I'm trying to convince Gertie to move out there someday, away from this podunk nowhere cottage, closer to those of power and influence. Yes, there certainly is influence here. Thanks for the advice, Fluffs. I'll try Reldo next time. Brow. Next time you open up the Superchisel, the option for Fluffs has been replaced with Reldo. You speak into the Superchisel. Hey Reldo, can you hear me? What sorcery is this? I'm speaking to you through a Superchisel. A Superchisel? Yes, to be honest, I'm not really sure what it is, but when I twiddle it, I feel super. Fascinating. I'd love to have a look at this artifact if you brought it by sometime. Sure, I'll see about doing that, but I'm talking to you today because I've heard that you're the man in charge of census keeping. Yes, that is true. Do you think you'd be able to tell me the names of all players online at this moment then? Officially, no. But if you let me see that Superchisel, I'll see what we can work out. And if we go into Reldo's option now, you speak into the Superchisel. Reldo, can you hear me? Yes, hello. Could you tell me the names of all players online? I'm still quite keen to have a look at that thing. I'm waiting for you in the Palace Library in Varrock. Alright, so let's TP to Reldo. And there's actually dialogue if you manage to lose your Superchisel. That's something you always have to put in when you make a quest, is check if the player actually has the item you think they have. Hey Reldo, it's me, Log. I was talking to you earlier through the Superchisel. Right, the Superchisel. I'm definitely excited to examine that artifact. Could I please see it? Sure, that's why I'm here. Excellent. Actually, do you not have it? I'll try to find it again. 1 minute. I'm sure it can't have gone far. That would be really irresponsible to have lost it. No, I'm sure it's somewhere. Okay, so now I have it again. Hey Reldo, it's me, Log. The one talking to you through the Superchisel earlier. Right, the Superchisel. I'm definitely excited to examine that artifact. Could I please see it? I think I'd rather hold on to it for now. I really just feel the need to keep twiddling it. Bizarre. It seems to have an entrancing effect on those who come in contact with it. I hope you'll reconsider. I need it for my research. Alright, Reldo. I'll give it to you this time. I was talking to the Superchisel. Yes, the Superchisel. I want to see the artifact. Please, I'm definitely excited. Can I please see it? Yes, that is why I'm here. Excellent. This is a real mystery. And I really feel the need to twiddle it for some reason. Please give me some time to research this. Alright. Did you find anything out yet? Reldo is busy twiddling the Superchisel. What about now? Reldo? Ah, log. I've made some discoveries regarding the Superchisel. Great! It seems to date back to the First Age, around the time that mankind was first learning how to make jewelry out of gold. It's enchanted with some kind of reality-bending magics, which when combined with the body essence of man, through a twiddling action, lets the user access powers that until now I did not know were possible. What kind of powers? Well, truthfully, I'm not entirely sure. Reldo looks sheepish. It seems that many of the powers I tried whisper back a kind of ominous message in my ear. Invalid syntax. Only administrators can use this command. I'm not exactly sure what that means, or how to become an administrator, but from some of the thoughts pinging in my head as I twiddled, I felt that in the right hands, that of an administrator, this could be a truly terrifying object of power. That is a reference to the Resets Crystal's ability to kill all NPCs within close range, which, yeah, only administrators can do that, even if you have it, the item. So, reality-bending magics, then? Yes, reality bending. In one of my many chats with Treborn the Wizard, we were discussing old mythology from the First Age, and the topic of reality runes arose. I believe this object bears the signature of that type of power. Until now, I had not been aware of any surviving evidence that reality-bending magics ever really existed. It has only been observed in historical accounts. Myths. Wow. So could I have it back then? Reldo hesitates a moment. Yes, I suppose it is yours. Please take good care of this artifact. And about that census information? Yes, about that. This is to be kept strictly between you and me. Naturally. For the past several decades now, the king has ordered a census to be conducted on all citizens living in Varrock. This is public knowledge. However, recently, he has also asked that I conduct a census in kingdoms outside of Varrock, to keep tabs on our neighbors. That sounds like a lot of work. Yes, it has been a monumental task for me, requiring a lot of time and effort, but actually, thanks to you, and with some help from Treborn, we've been able to reverse engineer some of the reality-bending magics behind the Superchisel. You did what? You'll have to forgive me for taking it to him without asking. Treborn is an odd one, but a very knowledgeable and close friend of mine, who we at the Royal Palace trust completely. After all, if he weren't trustworthy, would we really entrust him in the care of one of the keys to the chest containing the legendary Silverlight? Right, okay. I suppose that's fine then. But how does reverse engineering the Superchisel help to collect census information? As it turns out, though many of its powers seem to be gated behind some mysterious administrator identity, there were many powers that were still accessible to us, including an online list option, which lists the names of all players currently online. This invisible method of census collection and immediate real-time results are an amazing power that should not fall into the wrong hands. I was only going to be able to provide what I've been able to collect slowly over the years. But now, if you do decide to contact me, I'll pass along those real-time results at no inconvenience to you. Well done, you have completed the Superchisel Quest. You just advanced 0 influence level. Great. So now if we go into the Superchisel and we go into Reldo, we have unlocked the ability to get the online list. Alright, that's all. Thanks for watching.